Is RWBY Ice Queendom worth watching? This adaptation of Rooster Teeth's original animation isn't a recap of the series exactly, but its own story that branches off from the first volume. At least, that's what I've heard. I've never actually watched RWBY, so here's my thoughts as someone not influenced by the original work. The first 3 episodes are an awkward adaptation that speed runs the setup of RWBY. And no, I am not going to stop making this joke. Because of that, they aren't the best. It gives you the gist of the story, but no time to really care or feel for the characters. Because of this, we get moments like, "Your people hurt me and I hate you," 5 minutes later. "I thought a lot about it, I don't care anymore." It feels like there is something missing. I wonder why. I can't comment on how well it is adapting the original story, but the animation is a huge upgrade, although there is some CGI that definitely calls back to the original. On episode 4, it stops telling you what you need to know and starts telling its own story, which is very noticeable as it's a pretty good episode, and even retroactively made me like some of the previous episodes more. It's hard to give a description of RWBY because it's going to be a spoiler. It's edgy Harry Potter. I can't think of a better way to describe it. But if you like the setup of kids in a classroom learning some kind of special magical powers, it's more likely the show will be for you. You don't need to have seen RWBY before watching this, but because of the recap of the first couple of episodes, it feels very mediocre. It gets way better at episode 4, but even then, the damage is done and it's really hard to care about what is happening. However, the charm really does start to come through. It feels like a totally different show in the later episodes. With that out of the way, let me tell you the great things about this show. First, as much as I didn't want this to be the case, RWBY is a super likable character and a great protagonist. She's very immature, and it fits really well within the world and setting. I really like her. Everyone else is kind of whatever except Weiss, although I don't know if she's a good character or she just has silverish white hair and that's super cool. While on that topic, RWBY Ice Queendom has some very cool aesthetic choices. The art style is very unique, and stylistic choices such as the split screen effect really heighten some of the moments, and it's just visually interesting. There are a lot of unique scene transitions and almost impressionistic background art in a lot of unique areas that I really appreciate. It's just nice to see something different sometimes. Also, the weapons are freaking cool. The CGI for certain scenes with the weapons actually looks pretty good. The fight scenes are epic with a balance of over-the-top explosive fights while still giving a clear view so you can understand what's going on. They're really fun to watch. Lastly, for fan service, there's practically nothing, which is one of the more noticeable things that this is an adaptation of a Western animation rather than a normal anime. So is RWBY Ice Queendom worth watching? Unfortunately, if you don't care about RWBY, this anime is mostly skippable because of its rushed first episodes. It might be a good watch for anyone who is interested to get into it, then perhaps go back to the source material if you liked it. For fans, I'm sure it is exciting to see your favorite characters doing things in animation that doesn't look like a PS2 cutscene. If the main story they are trying to tell is really fantastic, it could end up being a great show. But overall, it doesn't feel as standalone as I think they hoped it would. All that said, if you can get through the first 3 episodes, it gets drastically better as the main plot is set into motion. Let me know in the comments what you think of the show, and go watch one of my other reviews on this season of anime here on the end screen. That's all for me. Thanks for watching. Jamio.